Welcome to Distorted Opinions. I'm Kayla, and this week I am joined by Keisha, and Matt is with us. I feel like it has been ages since I've done a show with Matt. Last week it had been like ages since I'd done a show with Ted, and we're getting everybody in here one at a time. So eventually it'll circle back, and we'll get all of us maybe next episode.
Well, I vented about my whole life scenario before recording and whatnot, but because this is public, I can't mention my faults. But I will say that 2022 will be good.
Oh, okay. All right.
We have to.
He's raising the bar.
He is, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, little do you realize that's pretty much every show Keisha and I have done together is a whole lot of conversation that's not fit to be recorded for the show. But then all of a sudden, at some point, it pivots slightly, and we start talking about music. And before we know it, it's been like 45 minutes of us talking about stuff that we should have hit record a long time ago on. And one of us is like, okay, wait a minute, we should hit record, and we gotta. So then I have to go back into the history of, oh yeah, so we've been talking about this for a while now, and now we're going to start the show, and we're going to bring our audience into it. So tonight, we haven't gone quite that far into the music portion of the discussion, but we got all the, like, what's going on in everybody's personal lives part of it out of the way. And I
did have a mean Fu Manchu going on for a while for November. Might be able to maybe post a picture of that.
I was actually kind of surprised when you joined the Zoom, and I'm like, oh, okay, Matt has decided to go clean shaven again.
Well, I'll say this: I had the Fu Manchu for November, and then I want to say for the past week. Okay, so if I get stressed, I'm one of those, like, I definitely pick at my head or my beard type of thing. Just like, I'm like, oh wow. Next thing you know, I'm like, oh cool. I have one handlebar for a Fu Manchu. So I'm like, I probably shouldn't go out in public like this. So I took it off and I got a haircut, and I was like, I'm gonna keep the stash. So I ended up keeping the stash and drove my wife absolutely nuts. Definitely looked like someone that you probably shouldn't be talking to.
Actually, just hear that, like,
my cousin texted me, and he sent me a video, and he started laughing. He goes, "You look like a guy that farts a lot." And I'm like, that's actually cool. So I have my alter ego, which is Roger Kleetzman. Okay. And now with the stash and kind of like the high fade haircut, now my new alter ego is going to be Chet Wintercorn.
Okay. Okay.
Chet Wintercorn, sports analysis.
Awesome. I'd also like to point out that for those who are listening to the audio version of the show, Matt is wearing a Talk to Me Goose shirt with Maverick's flight helmet.
With pride. He's wearing it with pride. Matt
has been ripping the folks who run the Top Gun social media platforms for the last year now. Every time they post saying that they're postponing the theater release. Yeah, it's really humorous to see the comments, because Matt gets real fired up, and he tells them exactly what he's thinking about the fact that they're postponing the release of that movie again.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm sure there's some things we cannot say in public.
I will bring him into the.
So Matt Scott, if you don't remember from a while back, we did a whole episode on movie soundtracks, and that was surprisingly enough an episode I could contribute to, because that's a movie that I have seen and I was familiar with the music. And so Matt and I spent quite a bit of time talking about that, and Matt broke out all his various Top Gun mementos that he has hanging around. And if you hadn't seen it, we did a promo for that particular episode that's got a whole bunch of cutaways.
Awesome. That promo was amazing.
Awesome. Kayla playing the lead guitar from the theme too is phenomenal. I definitely highly recommend checking it out.
I put way more time into making that promo than I probably should have. And I'm not just talking recording the guitar parts. I'm talking like I analyzed frame by frame the original opening, and when I recreated the text portion of that trailer, I matched it up to like where they put the cuts to the music, and I had to get the font, and I had to it all had to match, and I can't even begin to tell you. And I was going to make it a surprise. And then I'm like, no, I'm too excited to share this. So I sent it to Matt and Ted. I'm like, guys, this is what I think I'm going to post. And I posted it, and I got a message from Jack from Jacketto Picks, who was like, what did I just watch? And I had to be like, have you ever seen Top Gun? Our upcoming episode is about movie soundtracks, and there's a whole lot of watch the trailer. That's all clips from the upcoming episode. Matt's pulling out all these different pieces of memorabilia that he has, and by far my favorite was the pointing. You had the Top Gun sign behind
right
you
there. Yes, and that was my
and
part.
You pointed to it. Yeah, there was that too, the plane flying by, but he had a sign behind him and he pointed to it, and there was a slow zoom in, and he did an eyebrow thing. And Luke Condon, who we've had on as well from Town Meeting, Luke commented, and he was like, I fell out of my chair laughing on the eyebrow thing with the pointing at the sign. I was like, I'm glad somebody appreciated that, because I was laughing my head off editing that thing, and I had to watch it 100 times to edit it. So yeah, way too much time went into that promo. I have not spent that kind of time. I mean, if you're still listening to the show or watching it, fantastic, because I've done zero social media promotion of our show in weeks now. I may have
bought another Top Gun shirt.
You mean other than the one you're wearing?
Oh yeah.
Oh, not surprising.
It's like a retro feel. So now I think I have 3 Top Gun shirts. I have a Top Gun sweatshirt now too. Actually, I went on it's funny. I went on a bachelor party back in mid-October, and it was for one of my colleagues, and it was all his friends, and got to meet them. Great guys. And one of the shirts I wore was, and we were up in middle of Vermont, so October, it was definitely cold up there, kind of like how it is right now in New England. So I wore my Top Gun shirt, right? T-shirt. And I'm like, all right. And blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden it started getting colder. So we all went outside. We all had beers. What I pull out the Top Gun sweatshirt. And one of the guys goes, so I couldn't help but notice that you like Top Gun. And I'm like, just a little bit. Probably the best movie in the world.
Mm-hmm. The best movie.
Now, I'm not being biased, but that's probably my favorite distorted. Actually, no, not probably. That is my favorite distorted opinion episode.
Aww.
I may be biased, call it what it is, but more importantly, it's the fact that we got to see Caleb play the guitar and show off her skills. As I've mentioned in plenty of episodes that Kayla's a great guitar player, and she should be playing out more, and let our world know that she could play, and you got a little taste of it. Okay. In that episode, definitely check it out and whatnot.
Oh, I appreciate the kind words. I have not played as much as I'd like to recently, because it's just been kind of crazy, but I do try to play when I can. If you're not watching the video version, I have guitars. This is the same where I set up now for the show. You may have noticed that about maybe 6 or 7 months ago, my setting changed a little bit compared to what I've been doing previously. This is my office space because I have a new job and I work from home permanently now. And so I have guitars in here at all times. So if I got downtime during the day, I'm not opposed to grabbing a guitar off the wall and playing for a little bit during the day, but that's about the only time that I really get to play right now. I really would like to play more, but I appreciate the kind words. I'm not sure that I could pull off the Top Gun theme now because I haven't played it in a few months, but
don't be too hard on yourself.
I think you could. Don't be shy.
I haven't picked up a Celtic mandala yet. So, that's a whole, Keisha and I had a whole conversation about that the last episode we did. We talked about the music of Colm R. McGuinness, who's a singer-songwriter out of Ireland who I discovered through TikTok. And we spent an entire episode talking about him. And it was determined that I am going to get a Celtic mandala, and Keisha's going to pick up the violin again. And we're going to start a little Celtic band here. And my mandala skills are probably not going to be all that great. So
I can learn some
river dancing if you need to.
Oh,
Awesome.
Okay. There we go.
Awesome.
There we go. Maybe that can be another YouTube challenge for when we meet our.
That can be a concert on the cul-de-sac. That can be.
Perhaps we could do that too. But I was thinking more along the lines of that can be like the 200 subscriber challenge on YouTube. Is we'll put together a Celtic group, and Matt will river dance to whatever
if
we can manage to play.
200 subscribers.
I was thinking about this. Oh, here we go.
I will go ahead and wear lady spandex.
Oh.
I will get ballerina shoes if need be.
This just went to a different level.
It did.
Hold on. Wait. It went to a whole nother level.
There's more.
I finished it.
Ballerina shoes for Riverdance?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. The Riverdance shoes. I don't know.
Tap shoes. Tap shoes.
Tap shoes. Okay, whatever they're called. Sure. And get the tightest, most definitive and colorful tank top. And I will not shave my chest. So that way I got like an 80s things going on. I'll grow mutt chops out and just shave all into here. And I will go ahead and learn and have on video river dancing. And if we need to go into a store, I will go ahead and do a store. Hey, we already threw Home Depot on there.
Yeah, I'm not going into a store.
Undisclosed Home Depot.
but I'm not sure. I'm trying to figure out if Matt's
down the aisle,
like caveats to these challenges are getting us subscribers or losing us subscribers. Because I'm like, we've been holding steady. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if we're gaining or if we're
has a point and
scaring.
Because of Matt may be onto something. I'm familiar that Matt has a TikTok, and he seems to be gaining a little traction there. So maybe we can convince him to double dip a little bit into his fandom to see what can happen.
Speaking of Matt's YouTube challenge, though, I suspect what I'm expecting to hear here, because this episode we were planning to talk about, and the timing's not real great on it because this episode is dropping on Christmas night, which is a little bit late for us to be sharing like a Christmas playlist and stuff, but it is what it is. If you're joining us on Christmas night, thank you for
maybe it's
for
like
making
that
us
one
part of your
Christmas.
Christmas.
Open up before Christmas.
Yeah,
listening to this episode.
Maybe. I mean, I'll try to remember to at least share our Christmas Spotify playlist because we included that last year in our holiday episode. But, as far as hearing the episode, it's going to happen Christmas night. So if you're listening to it later, it might be, a little weird. But where I'm going with this is I am fully expecting that on Matt's list of songs to talk about for the holidays, there's somewhere in there going to be the holiday version of the Home Depot jingle, because I was telling Keisha about this the other day. I heard it come on a commercial a few weeks ago, and we were doing a show and we were chatting, and I was like, I am waiting for the holiday episode because $5 says Matt's going to have the Home Depot holiday version of the jingle somewhere on his list of go-tos for his Christmas playlist. And the only difference is that there's like jingle bells that play in the background of it.
But because of that, I can no, I haven't heard it yet. But because of that, if it does come on, my ears are like tuned into this now.
I chuckle to myself wherever I am. It doesn't matter where I am. I could be in a store somewhere and hear it come on the radio, and I start chuckling, and I look like a nutcase because
I'll tell. We're listen. We're gonna do a little tagline to my challenge. If we could get our subscribers before Christmas, I'll do the Home Depot challenge twice.
Oh my God!
One of them I'll do over Christmas season, so I'll wear a Santa hat, and maybe
we'll donate.
The short shorts will be maybe elf shorts.
We'll donate to like Salvation Army after this. They're usually outside of there.
True.
Oh God. That's going to be a tough challenge to meet, though, because this episode people won't see in time to be able to.
We'll give it to New Year's.
Okay,
all right. That gives them another week to get to what?
Start your
100?
promoting,
Is that
Matt.
going to be
Start
our?
your promoting.
I am a man of my word. I promise I will do these challenges, but we need your help, listeners, to go ahead and subscribe to us. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your bosses, smart ones, okay, about listening to us and subscribing, because trust me, you're not going to want to miss it.
We are at 51 subscribers right now. So we're a little over halfway to the 100 that we need to get the custom URL. So it would not take a whole lot more, but we got to get 49 more people to subscribe to the channel. So it's a lofty goal, but
it can be done.
Potentially can be done. Yes. So yeah, I'm going to open it up by saying that the holiday version of the Home Depot jingle is probably on Matt's holiday playlist. Not necessarily something that I'm going to be able to put into our Spotify playlist, because I'm fairly certain that song's not on Spotify, but I'll bet you if I go searching social media, I would probably find it, because I actually found, Matt, for your reference, there is a TikTok account that is the Home Depot jingle, and somebody has not only made it a loop, but then they've I don't know how many people they've duetted it with, that it's just looping on top of itself. So it's some sort of weird.
He's so loving this. If you are listening, he is beaming.
Yeah. Matt's going to go find that TikTok channel and he's going to subscribe to it. Guaranteed. He's going to give it a follow. And I'm sure be listening to all of the loops of the Home Depot theme over and over and over again. So anyway, Home Depot theme holiday version is on there. One of the songs that I have, I have a few, and Keisha, poor Keisha, got spammed by me via text message the other day. And Matt may have heard one of the songs by these guys, because I shared one with our jam session text group. But Keisha got I don't know how many.
It was
links.
5 or 6 of these things. It was
a bunch. I'm like, last one, promise. And then I'm like, nope, I lied. Here's another one. You got to listen to this one. So I think I briefly mentioned this group very, very briefly in a previous episode we did, Sunny and the Black Pack. And I discovered them on the For You page. They were live one night. And I believe on TikTok, their username is Black Media Presents. But I don't remember offhand. I should have probably had the page pulled up here. Of course, I get hit with a bunch of loud audio as soon as I bring up TikTok, because it starts playing. Was it Black Media? Yeah, it's Black Media Presents. It's Sunny and the Black Pack. And they go live every night on TikTok, and they do a set there. And then they go live on Twitch, and they do a set there. And apparently, so I shared some of their stuff we use Slack at work to communicate. And I shared some of their stuff in one of the Slack channels at work the other day. And one of my coworkers was like, oh yeah, I've seen them live on Discord. And I was like, geez, these guys are everywhere. And they've got a YouTube channel, and they've got a lot of clips from their live performances that they've done on Twitch up on their YouTube channel. And I just kept hearing song after song after song from them. And I'm like, oh man, Keisha, I don't want to go into them too much, because I feel like I could spend a whole episode on them, and that's not the point of this episode. But all of that to say, they've got a few holiday tunes that they've put out that I wanted to bring up, because they're a really cool modern twist on some classics. So they did a cover of Winter Wonderland, a cover of Frosty the Snowman, and a cover of God Rest You Merry Gentlemen. And
that's one song you don't really hear a lot of.
No, and you've got to hear this version of it, because it's got kind of a funky modern twist, and it's really hard to describe the sound that these guys have, because in my opinion, there's covers, and then there's what these guys are doing.
Yeah, there's a complete remastering of what it is. Yeah,
this goes beyond a cover. And what I sent to the jam session thread was they did a cover of System of a Down. Was it Aerials? I don't remember which System of a Down song it was. I'm pretty sure it was Ariel's, but they did it. They called it a Western version of it, which I would use the term country. Loosely. Yeah, it was kind of country, but not quite. Like, again, it's hard to describe.
It was like bluegrass type of Brother, Where Art Thou type of thing.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah. I mean, and that's unusual because the rest of their stuff is not right that kind of sound. So I don't know what led them to go with this country Western style cover of Ariel's, but the rest of their stuff it's very, first of all, this guy Sonny tears it up on the keyboard. He tears it up on a ukulele. I mean,
ukulele.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I was like,
wow.
Yeah. I've never seen somebody shred on a ukulele, but this guy, they do an incredible cover of Alice in Chains' Nutshell. And I've said it before on this show. I feel like there are certain groups that are really hard to cover, largely because of the vocals. And Alice in Chains is one of them, because Lane Staley just had a certain type of sound to his vocals that I feel is really hard to do justice if you're trying to cover it. Yeah. These guys managed to cover it, and I think do a tremendous amount of justice to the song and really pay tribute without making it like he's not trying to imitate Lane.
He's got his own little take on it. Yeah.
Right. And it's
he's being
really
true to
just
his sound.
Right.
And his vibe. It's the vibe that he's creating when he's when they're performing this, when this band is performing this, he has a completely different, like, yeah, it's funky. It's an interesting place to be in. For a good reason. All the good reasons.
Right. I mean, I was literally hours the other day at work just playing their videos in the background on YouTube because I had heard a few things. Actually, what had initially started me in looking at their YouTube was I had screen recorded a couple of videos because I was like, oh, I got to share these with Keisha and Matt and the crew. And my iPad screwed up and didn't get all of the recordings. And I was super bummed because they did, when I tuned in, they were doing a cover of Eye of the Tiger. And again,
there we go.
It's a cover, but they put their own spin on it. So to me, it's like, you got to really listen to it because you're like, I know this song sounds familiar. I can't put my finger on it, but I know this is a cover. What is it? Because it's different enough that it doesn't quite sound like the original, but it's still, you if you know the lyrics enough, you can kind of pull out, like,
it. They completely rearranged it, and it's
right.
They're using their vocals and their strengths and their approach to music. They basically just took the lyrics. You're right. They took the lyrics and maybe some of the rhythm and in some
the chord structure.
Yeah, in some aspects, just to kind of make it familiar enough. But it is entirely their vibe.
It's like trying to try a new whiskey drink and then realizing that, oh, this one says that there are notes of vanilla and caramel. And you're like, well, when I'm tasting it, it's not, for those that don't drink like whiskey or anything like that, you're thinking, no, like a Hershey bar or a Withers caramel thing. And it's like, oh no, but like diving into it, it's like, oh, the notes. All right. I smell like that vanilla. And the oakiness
I smell vanilla. I don't taste vanilla.
I smell vanilla. Oh, the oakiness is giving it that caramel scent. Okay. Understand.
Right. Yeah, it's a very different sound than anything else I've ever heard in a cover. And I just, like I said, I've been nonstop listening to their stuff because it's really upbeat too. And if you watch their live videos, you can tell they're having a good time while they're playing these songs. And it's also really fun to watch. Like if you read the description of a lot of these videos, they'll tell you a bit about the song. And there have been a few of them where they're like, well, we kind of derailed. They did. And I think I sent this to you, Keisha. They did, what was it? Gangster's Paradise. And it turned into Mamma Mia.
Yeah. Les Miserables.
Yeah.
Matt, I can't
You're
even.
probably like, what?
Wild. It's
what Les Mis song?
Oh my gosh. Was it cool? It was Coolio, Les Miserables, but the song was, oh man. All I know is I realized in that moment when I was listening to it, which don't judge me, I was like getting dinner at Popeyes And
I had Popeyes the other day. I think it's better than KFC.
We agree. They care. Geez. Oh, here it is.
It doesn't say what song it was in the description.
What song it was. And it's so hard.
It
was so hard to distinguish it. Like it's such a weird mix. It's such a weird remastering. But I realized in that moment while I was eating my Popeyes, I should have had some bourbon or something. I needed to free my mind. That's how I feel. That's what I need to do to really. I appreciate what they're doing, and I was like, "Whoa, this is like on another level of music I wasn't like prepared for." And I need to like free my mind because I think I was trying to dissect it too much.
It was definitely them.
Put some in my sweet tea. Dang it, like I need to fix this up so I'm not thinking about this song too much in order for me to like really appreciate what they were doing. Like you can't go into this incredibly methodical. You're gonna have to go into this being on the same vibe that they're on in order to really enjoy it.
Gotta be open. Yep.
Yes.
But that was all improv. Like they went from and I don't even know how it happened. They went from Gangsta's Paradise, like he's singing the lyrics. And again, it's one of those things where you can hear in the chords in the rest of the song that they're taking that original kind of chord progression from the original song, but it's changed enough that it's like you listening to the lyrics, it actually, to me, it made me pay more attention to the lyrics than I probably would have with the original. But all of a sudden they go into, they're still playing that same background, like backing track from Gangsta's Paradise. And all of a sudden he starts going off into this Les Mis, like all the lyrics from that song, and they just rolled with it. Like you just see they've got two other backup vocalists, they've got a guitarist, they've got a drummer, and then they've got Sonny who's on the keyboard and singing, and they all just rolled with it. And it was like the most seamless transition. And then they went right back into Gangsta's Paradise again, like nothing had ever happened. And I find that really interesting to see how they do that in the dynamic, but also just like I said, you can tell they're having a fun time while they're doing these things.
Yeah,
and they do
music
it every night. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's really, and it really makes you think differently about songs that you know too, because like to me, again, I've never been real strong in the songwriting department. You play a few chords for me, I can play a solo over it, but writing music is not my strong suit, which is part of why, like even Ted has pointed out to me, you're good
I might have to differ.
Uh-oh. He has an opinion.
I might have to differ.
Incoming.
He has an opinion. Prepare for landing.
Here comes.
Did we like forget that you wrote Man in the Box back in high school?
But I didn't write that though.
You composed it.
But that's different. Somebody else wrote the music and I used that music as a basis. Like I'm talking original music. Like I'm not good
but what I'm saying though is that you took so you took the foundation of what was written and you transposed it to a different instrument. So technically you do have that aspect of songwriting because you were able to transpose, say, something that's in treble, to bass, which are two different keys. I don't know. I think you have to give yourself credit there.
So arranging, I can potentially do, but maybe I should rephrase. I should rephrase. I am not good at writing original music. That's not really my strong suit. Other than, again, you put down some chords and I can play a solo over it, but I'm not good at writing original music. So for me, like on top of the fact that I already am blown away by people being able to write original songs and come up with original songs, these guys, it's like they listen to it and then they take it to a whole nother level, which to me I find to be really interesting because it's like, how did they hear that song and then come up with this rendition of that song? Because this is so far away from what the original song was that it's almost unrecognizable. But again, it's a well enough known song and just enough, like if you paid attention, you know just enough of the lyrics that you can pull out. So like when I tuned in the other night and they were playing Eye of the Tiger, I'm thinking to myself, this sounds really, and I had to listen to it for a while before they finally sang Eye of the Tiger. And I'm like, okay, Eye of the Tiger. But it was so drastically
but they did
different.
a different rearrangement. They did a different arrangement of music. They just pulled the lyrics. And I think they're making music. They're just making their own music. They were just like, we'll keep the lyrics, I guess, just for something for you to connect to. But like, we didn't need the rest of that.
Right. I mean, it's just, to me, I'm really blown away by what they've been doing. And I was watching video after video after video. And I'm like, so I kept spamming Keisha with text messages because I'm like, you got to hear this. You got to, you got to listen to this one. And I'm like, she's going to kill me because she's probably at work in a meeting or something and her phone's probably blowing up. And, so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna leave it. I sent one more and I was like, all right, this is it. Seriously, I'm not gonna send you any more. I've sent you plenty. And then I'm thinking if she really wants to watch any of these others, she'll watch them on her own. But it was just, I kept finding more and more.
He did covers. I say covers loosely because again, you're just like rearranging. He did The Weeknd. He did
Can't Feel My Face.
Yeah, that was really interesting. Again, I was just mad that I was listening to these during the day because I'd rather listen to them on like a Friday night after I've drank a lot. And then I'm just going to be like, yeah, this is awesome. Like, this is like, because it's already amazing. But in order for me to get lost in it, yes, tomorrow is Friday. Least
when we're recording it tomorrow Friday.
If you're listening to this, on the night of Christmas, you've probably already drank a lot of stuff. You've had your sugar, you're on your sugar crash. Like, put this up and like get yourself into a whole nother vibe rather than the normal rigmarole of like the Christmas songs that you know and love. Make that transition and get yourself into a nice little warm space.
And they've got some Christmas songs that they did too, and those would be
worth. Cool.
Yes, they are very cool.
So I have yet, speaking of Christmas songs, because this is a holiday episode, so we should probably talk about Christmas songs
still a little bit. But even though I was like, I don't want to spend a lot of time on these guys, and then we did. So
speaking of covers, I have yet to find for the exception of Pavarotti, I've yet to find another cover of "Oh Holy Night," which is by far one of my favorite holiday songs.
Really?
Yeah, but I mean, like, I try to stay away from the commercialized ones, which is like, oh, Carrie Underwood. Nope.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like, every fucking Christmas she comes out with something. Or Josh Groban. Don't get me wrong. I mean, hey, you know what? I wouldn't mind a little Bublé. Okay, I wouldn't mind. A little Bublé. But like there hasn't been a band or an artist out there that hasn't really got the recognition that they deserve. Not commercialized, but when you listen to it, it's like that hidden gem to say, ooh, you're not known enough, but you are. And wow, you do an amazing cover of "Oh Holy Night."
So let me tell you where to look for a cover of "Oh Holy Night." TikTok, because I'm telling you,
Tick to the talk.
Keisha and I have been talking for episodes now about various finds on TikTok, and again,
I'm gonna have to create an account because Kayla at this point has just like sent me more things via TikTok.
My father has a TikTok that he uses, but he doesn't make content. He did it just to look at my videos and the stuff that I send to him, which is not age appropriate, but hey, it's not holiday appropriate either. But yeah, I'm telling you, it's true though. I think TikTok is kind of like the new trend where you'll see the underground or unrecognizable hidden talent. And actually, that's a great idea. I think I might do that tonight.
You will probably find somebody there because the last few episodes where we've talked about people on TikTok, my main takeaway from that is, and Matt, I'm sure you will agree with this point because I know we've touched on your feelings on the big A&R reps and the major labels, but my feeling is that there is more talent on YouTube and TikTok and social media that I told Keisha, I don't remember if we talked about this during the show, or if it was in our discussion afterwards, but Cole McGinnis, who we talked about, we were looking at some of his videos after, and I was like, look, I mean, this sounds like a lot of views, but in the grand scheme, think about it. He had like 250,000 views. He did a cover of, was it The Sound of Silence that we were watching that had the 250,000 views? And I'm like, that's a lot of views, but that's not as many views as I feel like there should be on a cover like this guy. He's doing incredible things with his music. He's got high quality recording, hardware at his disposal. He's making well-produced recordings and videos. And this video only has 250,000 views. But then there's again, tons of crap out there on mainstream radio that's got tons and tons of views. That's like, well, why is this getting the number of views it's getting? But this guy is doing phenomenal things and he really should be getting more views. And I was like, Matt would be having a field day if he was here for this discussion, because we've heard Matt's thoughts on A&R reps and how
I wish I could be in a boxing ring or an MMA ring. Okay. With every single A&R rep and literally just kick their ass with knowledge as to why they are commercializing crap and not favoring the actual real talent of people that, we're not going to go there. We're not going to go there.
Another episode. I wasn't intending for us to go down another path with that, but my point was just
I bet we could do a whole episode on Matt shits on A&R reps.
I'm sure we could.
We could take up a whole hour on that one.
I believe it.
I might have to bleep that out. Sorry.
It's a late night.
I'm up to 4 right now, so it's all good. I just have to remember where they are. But so basically my point is there's a lot of talents. You're looking for things that are underground that aren't mainstream. There's a lot of talent on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube. I am sure there's got to be somebody there that's got a fantastic cover of Oh Holy Night that just is not getting radio play because it's not mainstream. It's not somebody signed to a label. You just have to kind of look for it. If I'd known that was a cover you were looking for, I probably would have looked for it before doing this show, because I probably could have found you somebody that we could have talked about, but I trust that we will find somebody after the show. And if you do, you'll have to let me know, because I'm always curious.
I'm chopping at the bit, because I got options, but
but a lot of these people also have stuff on Spotify too. So there's a good chance if you find somebody whose version of the song you like, they might have it on Spotify. It's just not showing up in the top results because they're not somebody who's got a label backing them. So apparently Vince Gill has a cover of Oh Holy Night. I searched it to see, is there anybody here that I haven't heard of? But there are people I haven't heard of, but for Eric Cartman. Yeah, there's a South Park rendition of it. If you haven't heard that, I used to live for the Hillman Morning Show when they were on WAF, would do Looney Tunes, and they do a whole holiday music.
Yeah, they always are a Looney Tune holiday kind of it was usually Bob Rivers, the 12 Pains of Christmas.
Yeah. They used to do a whole thing there. I don't know if it was part of just a holiday thing they did, or if it was part of the Walk and Rock for Change that they used to do, where you could call up and you could donate money, and they had LB and Spaz would walk from point A to point B. It was somewhere in the state of Massachusetts to somewhere in Boston, and they would collect money as they walked, and then people could also call in and they could pay to hear certain songs. And the more outrageous the song was that was outside of the format of what they would usually play, the more they would ask you to donate to hear that song. And so you would hear a lot of holiday themed stuff when they would do that as well. But I distinctly remember hearing the South Park version of Oh Holy Night on the Hillman Morning Show at some point years ago. Do you have somebody breaking into your house, Matt?
Just the ghost.
Okay.
Or my terrible two.
Oh. Yeah.
Sorry, I'll mute.
No, it's okay. I was like, there's something going on there. So yeah. Anyway, if you find a good cover of "Oh Holy Night" by somebody who's not mainstream, let me know, and I would be happy to share that version of it on our social media platforms. At least since this episode won't air until Christmas night, so it'll be a little bit late to wait until then. But anyway.
Again, it's the season. It's the season, holiday
yes.
season.
You have through New Year's, as far as I'm concerned. Like,
it's
after
not like
that,
the grocery stores are going to stop, like airing their Christmas music on Christmas Day. They're closed, but like it goes until New Year's.
Right. It starts in like August and it runs until New Year. Yeah.
It's getting longer and longer. Like, it's wild.
Pretty soon it's just going to be year round. You hear Christmas music and see people with Christmas trees out. Yeah. So, but yeah, that is a good Christmas song. Actually, that is a favorite of mine as well.
That's good. So good to know. I love all the Christmas songs. Except I agree with Matt, not when they're sung by like Carrie Underwood. I think it takes like a very unique voice in order to carry the weight of some of these songs. So, and, shout out to all those people who are like who've grown up with a bit of a choir background, because this is where like your time really shines.
That's where it should be
my
coming
goodness.
Out.
Like, it's just, you feel the spirit in the air. It's so lovely.
There's nothing more empowering than hearing a choir during the holidays. And there'll be times where I just walk in during like a mass and I'll just listen to the choir. Yeah. And just like, it's like a peaceful moment, but it's something about it. I don't know. It's just like, it's like an extra touch. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, I think any choir in any mass is beautifully done, but it's like the holiday times is like that extra touch. I mean, maybe call it, maybe because it's the traditional songs we all grew up on, and hearing that, and understanding. You got this. You got this. Understanding. That like this is a time for family, time for giving. And I think just with a choir, especially a 4-part choir, sopranos, altos, tenor, baritone, bass, throw a bass in there. I almost said bass, but bass, beast. I don't know. There's just something, and I could definitely say that I always reminisce on our high school days in the choir. And Keisha, you'll definitely know that. Like all 4 years of high school, it was always the holiday songs. One specific one that I probably absolutely adore is when we did Do You Hear What I Hear?
Yes.
And it's just like, oof.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just something about it. Something about it.
You remind me of like, you're like a Home Alone 2 when he like goes into the church and you hear like the choir singing. There's like this is a little beautiful moment when he's meeting with like the homeless lady with the pigeons, but you hear the choir, they're there to like hear the choir sing. You're like sitting there like, oh.
It's good. It's time. It's like peaceful. That's what it is. Can't explain it, but you're just like, okay, you know what? We're good.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's just that spirit in the air. It's that the season's bigger than stuff.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. And the music does the season justice.
I think that's why, like, I appreciate holiday music when it's correctly done. And what I mean by that is when it's not too emphasized. Like, again, like a Carrie Underwood, for that matter, doing friggin' Oh Holy Night, or a Christina Aguilera doing a whole Holy Night, or Ariana Grande. Don't get me wrong, they're great singers, but like, I feel like they would mess it up.
Good for you. Good job.
I caught myself on that one. Especially since it's a holiday, so I should probably watch it. I feel like they were messing up with almost kind of like, oh, holy night.
Yeah, they're trying too much.
The stars are brightly shining. It's like, dude, do you think back then they sang like that? No.
No.
It's like, Just
No, we need like you need Bing Crosby. Bing Crosby was the voice of the holidays. Bing Crosby had a real like you're right. You have to kind of experience some stuff or be an emotion. Not to say we know that they're talented. We know that like we get it. But there's not a lot of times like Valentine's Day doesn't have a whole soundtrack you can build off of. You know what I mean? Like this is a holiday that you literally have a soundtrack for the holiday. We know
100%, and it's structured in a specific way where it's like respect it. Okay, you're not gonna walk into a wedding, okay, and go ahead and say, okay, you know what? Instead of walking down to say like Canon and D, you're gonna walk down to, Walk by Pantera. I mean, hey, maybe it happens again, or who knows? Or you're not gonna go up there and say, I just crap my pants. Okay. You got to have that respect type of thing. So I think with like Christmas songs, it's kind of the same thing. It's like, okay, it's arranged this way. Okay. You could give it a little bit of taste, but like at the same time, still respect the arrangement. Mm-hmm. None of this, like, you stuck your finger in a light socket and you're going everywhere on the scale. Like, no, it sounds like you just ate bad Chinese food and dropped it in a toilet. Okay. That's what it sounds like to me.
He said, you're not just going one place, you're going everywhere on the scale because you want to impress me with your range. I don't care.
Congratulations. You just went all 7 notes in the whole friggin' scale. Awesome. With a couple of sharps and flats there. Okay. But
the pitch was wrong, but okay, I guess.
Exactly. God, a couple of octaves up in there or whatnot, but geez, break glass or crap your pants.
Then I'm definitely, what my pick of the week later on, we'll touch on an artist, but I definitely think this is the time of year if you're not into it for whatever reasons of your beliefs, but if you really want to get into like some real feel to the holidays, listen to some gospel Christmas songs because there is a lot of heart and there's a lot of, not all of it. Like you said, we can have the same concerns in the church where it's like, honey, boo boo. Okay. Like you've been riffing to Jesus for like 8 bars now. I'm going to need you to come back. But some of them, there's some artists from years past that I think I listen to their soundtracks like every year because I think that they were done so well, honoring all the songs. But then there's a certain gift that they bring and a spirit that they bring to some of these tracks. I'm just like, oh yeah, like no one can do it like that. Nobody.
It's just, it's something about them. And if you get them a cappella.
Pentatonics, I'll give it to them.
Okay, listen, Pentatonics is definitely a group I would take my pants off during the holidays and be proud of it. Just stand there.
They do that. They do it. They did the business. Although I need your opinions on this. I'm trying to understand when Hallelujah became a Christmas song. And
wait a minute. You mean the Hallelujah?
Yes. Jeff Buckley? You mean the Jeff Buckley version? Really?
Yes.
When has that ever become
Christmas station on today? And Pentatonics has done their version of Hallelujah, and I think that's great. But I would not classify that at all.
That's not a Christmas song. The lyrics
don't even support this. This is not a Christmas song.
A Christmas song.
Thank you. Okay.
I'm stapling it. I'm solidifying right now. It's not a damn Christmas song.
Yeah.
No,
I didn't realize that was a
song.
thing.
Okay, every time I think of that song, I think of the movie Shrek.
Yes, but it's a rather depressing song. It's wonderfully arranged. It's a beautiful song, but it's not a.
She broke your throne. She cut your hair. Yeah. And the Gaffel King composing Hallelujah. Yeah, no, that's not happy. That's not happy.
This is not a happy holiday song.
Damn it.
Not that.
Actually, you know, it is an emotional song. I heard this a couple of years ago, and it's actually on my playlist now. Is I'll give this guy one exception. I can't stand him because I think he's an egotistical prick. Okay, which again, I could take an underground person and compare him to him, and they'll blow him out of the water or whatnot. But Clay Aiken. Okay.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. Does a credible cover of Mary Did You Know?
Okay.
Have you listened to it?
No.
look up Mary Did You Know?
Apparently he does a cover of Oh Holy Night too. FYI.
Huh?
Apparently he does a cover of Oh Holy Night too. FYI.
Oh no, I don't want to destroy my. No, he gets one exception. He gets one exception. I'm not even gonna attempt it. But yeah, he does a great rendition of Mary Did You Know? And that's a powerful one. That's a good one. But definitely highly recommend checking that out and whatnot. But hey, this is the holiday season. It's the holiday season.
The holiday season.
Whoop-de-doo and decorate dock. Don't forget to hang up your song. Just exactly at 12 o'clock. He'll be coming down the chimney down.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I got so many promo clips from this episode. Just to
and they'll probably block us and say you're copywriting.
It's Christmas music.
Yep. Go suck an eggnog. That's what I say.
Like the OG Christmas songs came from hymn books, okay? That you got to dust off from the pews. Like. My goodness.
Yeah.
Speaking about songs, are we getting ready to go into our song?
Oh yeah, it is about that time.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, we spent quite a bit of time talking about other
random
things
stuff
before we got into Christmas stuff, which I was really trying not to have happen, but it kind of went that way. Yeah, I would say it's probably time to get into Song of the Week because I think we're coming up on an hour here. So I'll just do the usual reminder. If you're new to the show, we have a Spotify Song of the Week playlist. We put all of our Song of the Week picks in their entirety into that playlist, and we put a link into the description of every episode. If you're watching the video version of the show, we have a Spotify scan code that we'll put up on screen, and all you have to do is open Spotify on your phone or mobile device and tap the camera icon in the search bar and hold your device up to the screen. It'll take you right to the playlist. For this episode, last year, we also had a holiday playlist, and we linked to that. I will link that in the description as well. You'll know by the time this drops, but I will try to also post that to our social media platforms so that if anybody wants to have our playlist going as the holidays approach, you can do that. So on that note, do you guys want me to go first?
Which one of you?
Go.
All right. I know Keisha has a tendency to change her pick depending on break the conversation. So my pick, again, probably shouldn't come as a surprise because we spent quite a bit of time talking about Sonny and the Black Pack. My pick is their cover of God Rest You Merry Gentlemen. I really think this is an incredible cover. I saw this clip over on TikTok, and that was one of the reasons actually that I went digging into their YouTube, was because I wanted to see if they had the full version of this song, because it really caught my attention, and I haven't heard a lot of covers of this particular song, and particularly covers that I felt are really worth playing over and over and over again. And theirs is, as I said before, kind of a modern twist. It's got a real funky feel to it, and I love this song, and so I would highly recommend giving it a listen. We'll put it into the playlist, and I've got it in the Christmas playlist, the holiday playlist that we'll link as well. But like I said, they do also have covers of Winter Wonderland and Frosty the Snowman. But out of the three, I think this one is my favorite, and so that's going to be my pick for this week. God Rest You Merry Gentlemen by Sonny and the Black Pack. So that's my pick.
Nice.
All right, Keish, what you got?
All right. So I alluded to this. I stuck with my choice this time. I held on to it. I was like, you're going to do this. It's going to be fine. So I went with, I think it was my first gospel song that I have ever introduced into the mix. Feels like the right season. But I am going to go with Born This Day by Yolanda Adams. If you don't know who Yolanda Adams is, you may have heard of her name somewhere in the song Ether. She's an incredibly powerful vocalist, well known in the gospel circuit. You can't turn on Sirius XM Kirk Franklin station without hearing at least one Yolanda Adams song. So I'm going to go with Born This Day. It's an original Christmas piece, but it speaks a lot more to the story of Christmas, if you will, but how she sings it gets me in all the feels every single time. Every time. Her vocals are just otherworldly, magnificent. But the song itself is what's beautiful. And I think they pace the song out very well, because with gospel songs, you know right away that if it has a powerful female vocal, you want to like wait to unleash the dragon. You know, it's like, we don't need to know right away. And she can do it. She can do it for an entire song. But for this one in particular, it kind of meets the moment of the season. So you kind of hit your cadence right where you need to. And I think it's just beautifully done. So Yolanda Adams, Born This Day, is my pick of the week for the holiday season.
I like it. I like it. It's been a while since I've done these. I'm excited because not only is it the holiday season, okay, but this is also a nostalgic memory for me. Always watching this, it's like, and I still watch it, and I plan on introducing it to my son, okay, and then hopefully his children, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But guys, Charlie Brown.
Yes,
Charlie
I was
Brown.
hoping.
Come on,
I was hoping.
Sure.
Charlie Brown, specifically, okay. Charlie Brown Christmas. It's a classic based off of Peanuts characters. But my song of the week is going to be from the actual trio, the Vince Guaraldi trio, who wrote the soundtrack to A Charlie Brown Christmas, released in December 1965. Specifically, O Tannenbaum, also known as O Christmas Tree.
Yes.
But in German. This song is really played throughout the whole movie. Kind of, it's very faded in the background. But more specifically, Vince Guaraldi, I mean, he's just a phenomenal pianist. And when he's formed this group, and he wrote this whole soundtrack, it's got like a happy feeling. And I was talking with my cousin about it the other day, who's really big into films, and we were discussing about this album, and he was saying that, you know, Vince Guaraldi's one of those musicians that, again, he just, when you listen to his music, he makes you feel happy, makes you feel pride, like prideful and just like prideful about like, hey, you know what, life's all good. So, but this specific one, O Tannenbaum, is just, it's very jazzy, and it starts off a little piano, and then it breaks, and then goes right into, you got the brushes on the snare, you got the bass, guitar going on in the background, you got the piano, and then you have, what I noticed actually about the song too, is that the guitar part, it's very short. It's only like a couple of chords here and there throughout the whole thing. So what I found great is that in typical music, you know, the bass guitar is really like the foundation of the song. It's the roots of the song, and the guitar takes the lead. But with this, it's flipped. So you could really hear the bass taking on, like it's like getting a horse in a carriage, and the bass and the piano are really just going ahead and steering along with the song. It's very cheerful, and then it does like this little breakdown of, you know, just, it seems like improvising. We were talking about improvising earlier, and I can't help but think it's like a perfect getting ready for work, you know, showering up, having a great cup of coffee, you know, putting on a tie, you know, blouse, a skirt or something like that. Just getting ready for like the work day. But it's kind of like, I don't know. It's like very groovy, like dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. It's
we're going to like a little mixer. We're getting ready.
Exactly. Yeah. We're going to like go ahead, like it's gonna be a good day. So you know, O Tannenbaum, released 1965 in December, off the Charlie Brown Christmas album, is definitely gonna be my song of the week. It's very groovy, and definitely, I think it's also like a car groove tune too. Like, you know, imagine, you know, where it's like snowing, lightly snowing, not like blizzard and whatnot. Roads are clear. You're just chilling. Okay. And you're just having this in the background, maybe if you're home and you've got a fire going on, you have a nice bourbon, maybe a cigar type of thing, and just like chilling. Hot chocolate, maybe an eggnog. It's very, very relaxing. Maybe a couple cookies here and there. Save some for the big guy. So that's gonna be my song, though.
Perfect.
I'm so glad
song.
you picked that.
Yes.
Yeah, because that, honestly, if it weren't for the Sonny and the Black Pack song coming along, something from the Peanuts Christmas would have probably been my choice, because that's one of my all-time favorite
Peanuts
Christmas movies. I love, any song from that movie, A, highly recognizable, and B, immediate link to the holiday season. Like it's not Christmas time without hearing the music of
Didn't we
the
sing
Peanuts
that in
Christmas.
chorus, Matt? Like, wasn't that we sang one of the Christmas time is here?
I think we sang
That's
Christmas
also
Time.
from
from
the movie.
the Christmas story. That, you know, maybe that could be the honorable mention. It'll be Christmas Time
That
this
should
year,
be.
because
I agree.
just as good.
I second that vote.
All right. We'll add that. We'll do an extra one this week. Christmas Time is Here from Charlie Brown. I'm just going to add it to my list so that I don't forget when I edit this. But yeah, such a great Christmas movie. I love all of the music from that, and you can't help but be in a good mood when you hear that come on when they play it on the radio.
If there's someone out there, okay, that does not get good feels after listening to that song,
You're a monster.
Then I don't know who blackened your soul.
You're a monster.
God help you. Stole that from Will Ferrell, but I thought it was a great line. I don't know who blackened your soul. Oh, God.
Is such a good soundtrack. Oh boy. Well, on that note, thank you again if you've taken the time to tune into the show on your Christmas night, and even if you're supporting us by listening to it after the fact, we appreciate it. And as a reminder, if you have a suggestion for a future topic, or if you'd like to be a guest on the show, or if you're a musician and you have a song that you'd like us to listen to and talk about on the show, reach out to us and let us know. We're really trying to get this song review segment off the ground. And I know Keisha and I have kind of taken it to another level. We've been kind of submitting our own
we're talking about you whether you like it or not.
Yeah. We've been spending entire episodes talking about people who didn't officially submit their music, but we would love it if you would submit your music in an official capacity. There's a few ways you can get a hold of us to do that. You can leave us a voice message on our Anchor page at anchor.fm/distorted opinions. You can also find links to our social media platforms while you're there. You can leave us a comment over on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. You can send us an email, distortedopinionsshow@gmail.com. And don't forget, we have a YouTube channel, and we're trying to get to at least 100 subscribers so that we can get a custom URL on our YouTube channel. And we've got a whole bunch of things that we've promised at this point for various levels of subscriber numbers. At a minimum, we would like to get to 100. If we get to 100, Matt will go play the Home Depot jingle in an undisclosed Home Depot location. And if we get to 150, he will do that wearing a pair of Ugg boots, a pair of his wife's shorts, and a skin-tight tank top. And then if we get to 200, apparently I've got a personal monetary investment now, because I'm going to have to buy a Celtic mandala, learn to play it somewhat decently, and Keisha's going to have to pick up a violin, which if she doesn't own one, she's going to have a monetary investment in this as well, because she's going to have to get one.
And I will have to lower my dignity.
Matt will river dance. And depending on how many subscribers we get at that point, yes, Matt may or may not be stooping to a new low.
Another level.
Yeah.
It's either going to work or it's going to deteriorate. But
yes,
we have time.
Yes. So we have lots of potential rewards, and I'll use the term loosely, for I guess it's rewards for some people, it's punishment for us at some level, and but we've got some incentives for subscribing to the channel. So if you would like to see any of those things happen, be sure, even if you don't watch the video version of the show, you only listen to the audio version, be sure to go to our YouTube channel. Just look for Distorted Opinions on YouTube and you'll find us. Hit the subscribe button, tell your friends and family to subscribe, And the more people you get to subscribe, the quicker we can get to that goal, and we can make some interesting and entertaining things happen for you outside of the regular doing an episode of Distorted Opinions. So on that note, thank you, Keisha and Matt, for joining me this episode. Thank you to our audience for tuning in, and we hope you all have a safe and happy holiday season. And believe it or not, next week we will be doing a 2021 recap episode of the year in music, which seems like just yesterday we did our 2020 recap. So
literally,
yeah. So be sure to join us for that. There's going to be lots of conversation about the best and worst of 2021, and there was plenty of both. So we will see you then. Thanks for tuning in.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.